Let's try and understand whether this dip will be bought into or not with Rohit Srivastava. He's joining us on the show. Rohit, what's your own assessment? Do you think the dips will be bought into, or do you see the slide continuing?
It is a slightly tricky situation. I think we're going to be watching these key levels that I should probably put out. On the Bank Nifty, we're going to watch around 43,780 and on Nifty around 19,640. If these levels do break, then there is a chance that we continue to slip into the red and see this slide continue. But if these levels hold, then the continuation should be on the upside. And well, Bank Nifty is actually not moved up much. So in that sense, Bank Nifty is coming back to this particular zone almost the third or fourth time since the month of August. So it took support there, it rallied in September, it's come back to that level, and it's really not moved. The Nifty has though moved up a bit from the lows. It is holding above the 20-day average, and that is why, and that is what we are going to watch. Whether it can stay there or not, because if it does, then we can see a continuation to the upside. So we haven't really broken down to where we can say it's going to keep sliding. We are at key levels where that can happen, and we're going to have to keep watch on that.
Okay, so that's the point as far as the banking names are concerned, and thanks for highlighting those levels for us. But let's talk about one space which is bucking the trend completely, and that's Pharma Index. Whether it's a Cipla, a Dr. Reddy, Sun Pharma, all of these are managing to hold up well. What's your take on Pharma, and if you like any specific stock?
So I do think Pharma as a sector does have a good setup. We've looked at this entire move from the March lows, and we've been expecting one final rally in this segment before it consolidates. It's not played out yet, and I think today we are getting some signs that maybe it will. It does tend to be a defensive sector when other things are not doing well, but we have seen a lot of momentum in Pharma in the last quarter. So I think there is upside. No particular favorites there, because it really varies across the board. If you're a longer term investor, you actually want to look at individual names which are more in the mid cap space, because that's where most of the growth stories are. If you actually look at the large caps, they didn't do so well in the interim period, which is why they are not the ones that are where you'd want to really focus, though that is what drives the index itself. So that's how it's slightly mixed up. But yeah, it does look like the Pharma index has one leg up, and these stocks should do well.
Right. Rohit, this is Vinny joining in as well. Good afternoon. And, what's your view on the Nifty Realty, right? What is looking exciting over there? We have seen a run-up coming in, but in the last couple of trading sessions, we've specifically seen a bit of a subdued move that has come in for Nifty Realty. What is your view now here? What is looking exciting here?
So it was one of the first indices to, outperform when this rally started. And I think the pullback is essentially just a pause in the overall trend. I don't think we are done here. So I would think that this dip is worth getting into for the next move higher for the Nifty Realty, and that's the opportunity it is providing. So it's just a pullback. I think 7-8 days it moved up from the lows that we had seen in early October, and this is just a small retracement of that.
Okay, Rohit, if I had to give you a blank check right now and talk to you about the top picks across sectors, what would that be?
Well, I would take a slightly contrary stance and move to the metal side. Not a sector that everybody likes so much, but the metal index has, kept coming under pressure because of what has been happening in the dollar and rates. But the Indian metal stocks have actually done much better during this phase, despite low commodity prices, and so that's sort of a positive sign. And I think if we are at the fag end of, what has been a rally in the dollar, then I think it's time where commodity prices start picking up again, and the metals pack starts outperforming much more significantly. So I would actually move into the metal sector. That is what I would really bet on.
Okay, Rohit, thank you so much for that. But, on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break, viewer.